Okay, YouTube is up. And I'm not late yet. Okay. So the cat is a lunatic and might not be able to stay. Okay. Oops. All right. So my husband was amused last week when the cat attacked my face. So I don't know that that's not going to happen again. She might have to break since she's stepping all over the computer and probably messing stuff up. I'll be back. We are going to start seated, so if you want to get comfortable. Bye-bye. Say bye-bye, Looney. She's too crazy. Okay. So now I don't have to worry about that. So, I didn't look. Who's with me? Who's with me this morning? Hello, YouTube. We're on YouTube. Hey, Cheryl. So today our practice is going to be a lot about strengthening the upper body. So hopefully that's where you want to be, right? And remember, you don't have to do everything. If you want to substitute something else, please feel free. It's your practice, and if you just need to have the motivation of helping you get on your mat every Saturday morning at 9:30 or whatever, right? Then I'm happy to help. And if there's something else that you need to do, then that's your practice. And that's a good thing to know, whether this is what you need or this, right, or that. So again, we're going to be focusing on strengthening the upper body. Remember that these little muscles are not as strong as these muscles. So make these muscles work with you, right? All the big ones in the middle. Let them help this skinny one out. So, so yeah, just go at your own pace. Make sure you're breathing, and don't worry about where you get, right? Because as long as you get in the good space in your head, the rest is all just like gravy, or frosting, or cherry on top, or whatever your phrase is. So we're going to start seated with the heels aligned to the groin as much as you can. And then just kind of check in that you're upright on your pelvis. And if you need to make adjustments or sit on a block, certainly do. So let's engage that belly right here. Right? And then we're ideally going to hold that for the next 50-ish minutes. So lifting the pelvic floor, pulling the lower belly in and up. And we're tall through the sides, but soft through the upper belly. Relax your shoulders. Try to relax into your hips here. Crown of the head reaching toward the ceiling. Closing our eyes and just taking a moment here to acknowledge where you are, how your body's feeling. Noticing your natural breath. And then breathing all through the nose, allow that breath to expand. As much as we think about inhaling deeply, think about exhaling completely. And find that just beyond comfortable place that you want to work. And it's a little bit of work, but not so much that that's the only thing you can do. Maintaining everything that you have said here, that nice solid foundation, the engagement through the belly, the length in your spine, these beautiful full breaths. Let's go ahead and begin to add movement. So extend the arms out to the sides, and on the next inhale, stretch them toward the ceiling, and then exhale to bring them back down. Letting the arms reflect the breath. We're going to do that again. One more time like that. Let's go back to the top. Inhale. Exhale, just the right hand back to the mat and give yourself a little tip to that side. Keep the left hip bone glued to the floor. Maybe open up your left shoulder a little bit. And then on the next inhale, bring yourself back up to the center. And switch over to the left. Enjoy that big breath. Coming back to the top. And then again, over to the right. Maybe find a little deeper stretch. And then back to the middle. Last time, exhale over to the left. Inhaling, come back to center. Exhale, release the arms. So we're going to take the right hand over to the left knee-ish, and the left hand behind the body, giving yourself just an easy little twist over to the left. Find your foundation, find the length in your spine, and just let the twist be gentle to begin. Take a couple more breaths over on this side. And then unwind that side, move to your second side. Same idea, just a nice easy twist. Release, coming back to the center again. Back to that first side. Let's go a little deeper with this one. Right hand over to the knee, left hand like your second spine. Sit up extra tall. And then pulling against the knee or the thigh or whatever you have here. Think rotating your belly button, rotating your side rib, rotating that shoulder around. Maybe look over the shoulder if you like. Making the twist a little deeper, hopefully a little bit more even through the spine. We're going to unwind that, coming back through the center, taking the second side. So same idea, using the arms, sitting extra tall, and rotating around nice and even. You got one more breath here. And then we're going to unwind that one. So coming back to center then, hands on the knees. On an inhale, draw the shoulder blades together on the back and lift the chest. From there, we'll exhale and round through the spine. Think bringing your forehead to your belly button. Taking a few flows like that. Gradually working a little deeper into those tight spots. One more flow. And then bring yourself back to the middle again. So sitting up nice and tall on the pelvis, bring the soles of the feet together. Hanging onto the ankles, draw the heels in as far as they'll go. And then just allow your legs to rest out to the sides. You can add a little bit of pressure with your elbow at your inner hip, not on your knee, but at your inner hip to encourage them closer to the floor. Maybe they're still very not close. Wherever it is, lead with your chest here and just gently hinge forward a bit. So listen to your body, take your time. Think belly button to heel so you keep a lot of space in the front of the body rather than just squishing over. One more breath. And then on the next inhale, bring yourself back up to a neutral position and we're going to extend the legs. So take them straight. If you need a block to step on here, just remember to keep your knees soft. Hyperextend there. Flexing the feet so your toes point at the ceiling. Lift your chest here. On an inhale, stretch the arms up. And then we're going to hinge forward, exhaling into a fold. So nice and gentle. Start where it is. Right? Stop when you feel a little bit of resistance. Breathe into it. And then maybe allow yourself to move deeper. So take your time with it. You can take a little bit of that inhaling out of the stretch a little and then exhaling a little bit deeper, right? Just kind of play with it and allow the stretch to develop. And notice how where you started is probably not where you are now. Even if it's a tiny, tiny bit different. With the next inhale, then we'll go ahead and come back up to the top. Go ahead and release your arms, and we're going to open the feet out into a straddle. So it's early. Don't worry about how wide your straddle is. Same idea, watching that the knees stay soft. Making sure you feel upright on your pelvis, keeping the spine nice and tall, all of those same things. From here, we're going to reach the arms up. Rotate the belly around toward the left leg, and then fold over your left leg. And just let your hands fall on either side of the leg, keeping the right sit bone glued to the floor. So lead with your chest towards your toes, lots and lots of space. And then the hands can help the body square more toward the leg here. So if you press more into your left hand, you'll get that rotation. Feel it? Take one more nice big breath here. And on your next inhale, bring yourself back up to the middle. We're going to rotate around to the right and do the same thing here. So same idea, hands to either side, keeping the sit bones rooted, rotating your belly a bit more toward the right leg as it develops. Remember, where you started is not necessarily where you're done. And then here as well on the next inhale, come on back to center and release the arms. So this time, we're going to take the left hand and pin it up underneath the right thigh. Sit really tall. Take that right arm, we're going to reach over toward the left toes, but don't worry too much about toes. Keeping this shoulder back, the right shoulder back. See about taking your left elbow more toward the inner thigh, maybe toward the floor. But again, we don't want to be feeling squished. So think extending crown of the head over toward those toes. And then, of course, your right arm can come over the here and add a little bit more intensity to the stretch. If that's too much, it can maybe stay at your hip. Just think rotating your belly toward the ceiling. Of course, it's not going to rotate exactly to the ceiling, but keeping it open. You got one more breath over here. And then with the next inhale, make your way back up. And release the left hand and switch. So the right hand underneath the left thigh. Left arm up and over. Bringing the elbow as much to the floor as you can manage. And then opening up the left shoulder, rotating around. And inhale, make your way back to the top. Releasing the hands and then bringing them into center here. Keeping tall through the spine, hinge forward from the hip, think belly button to the floor. And if you want to have your hands walk out, totally fine, as long as you don't allow your upper back or your back, mostly your upper back and your shoulders there with your arms, but you get the idea. Keep it nice and long and neutral. With the next inhale, make your way back up. You bring the feet back together. Wiggle a little bit. Take your time. And then from there, we're going to move around onto all fours. So as we are going to be on our hands a little bit today, remember to spread your fingers nice and wide, keeping the four corners of the hands even onto the mat. And if you want a little extra, think pulling the finger pads in toward the palm of the hand. The palm stays rooted, but it just kind of lights up the muscles in your forearms for sure. So we're going to make our way into our first down dog from there. And again, how much work you're doing with your hands. You can also use the technique of pressing down with your palms and imagine sweeping them toward each other. So a little bit of that same trick we do with our feet, right? And then just allow yourself to find your full down dog. Keeping what we've built here, make sure the belly stays engaged. We're going to lift the right leg, and for a moment, keep the hips square. Extend through your heels. See if you can feel that little extra stretch. And then open your right hip as if you were stacking it on top of your left. You can probably lift your toes higher then. Bending at the knee. You can maybe peek over your left shoulder, look for your toes over there. Work to keep the shoulders level, chest pressing back toward the left thigh. We're going to straighten the leg, square the hips, and slide forward into a three-legged plank. We're just holding, nothing fancy. Make sure your belly is engaged. And then back to three-legged dog. Releasing the right toes. And we'll switch sides. So lift the left leg. Watching for a moment how it feels to have the hips square here. Press out through your heels. Opening the left hip, stacking it on top of the right-ish, taking those toes nice and high, bending at the knee if and when you're ready. Shoulders are level. Let's go ahead and straighten the legs, square your hips again. Make sure your belly is engaged here as you slide forward for your three-legged plank, holding. You can drop that right knee to the floor if you need. Back to three-legged dog. Release the toes. And drop on down into a child's pose. So let's come back to down dog. And from here, simply walk your feet forward and go standing fold. Engaging into the four corners of the feet here. Taking the legs straight, bringing the hands to the thighs, and lifting yourself halfway-ish up. Belly's working, shoulders stay back, lean on the legs if you need. And then bend into the knees and make your way to chair. So whether you stay with your hands on your thighs, you can come center, you can extend, whatever makes you happy there. So about sinking in through your hips, lifting your chest, keeping the shoulders relaxed. With the next inhale, we're going to stretch to the ceiling and release the arms. All right, so let's go ahead and work into our sun salutes. Remember, you can modify them. You can stick with the easier variations or jump right into the full variations. Always up to you. I feel like I keep creeping towards you. All right. So standing tall. On an inhale, stretch the arms up. With the exhale, take yourself into a fold. Inhaling, come halfway up. And then exhale and step yourself back to a plank. Knees, if you'd like knees, of course, nice and gentle to the floor. Hands next to the side ribs. A nice little easy baby cobra. Release that, up and back to down dog. And inhale, step forward, fold. Halfway up again. Back over. And then all the way up to the ceiling. And release. So again, just like that. Inhaling as you lift. And exhaling into the fold. Halfway up. Back into your plank. And down to the belly. Nice and controlled, everything to the floor together. Easy little shoulder roll, maybe out a pull of the hands, opening the chest, keeping the elbows in, up and back to down dog. Inhaling, step forward. Inhaling halfway up. Fold it over. And reach for the ceiling. Exhaling the arms. So as we do, we're going to do that exact sequence one more time, and you're on your own. So connect with your breath. Take an extra one here and there, and I'll meet you on the other side of it. Right? So inhale, stretch up, and go. So one more we're going to add into to the sun salute. So a variation would be, if that means anything to you, right? Still follow your breath, take your time in and out. On an inhale, let's sit into a chair. With the exhale, take yourself into fold. Halfway up. Back to plank. Down to the belly. Into cobra. Maybe a knock dog if you're ready for that. Back to down dog. And we're gonna step the right foot forward for lunge. Drop the back heel or knee and lift the whole upper body. Come on back down again, exhaling into our down dog. Inhale as you slide forward for a full plank. Take it down. Into cobra. Back to down dog. And then the left foot forward, toes all the way up to the fingers. Heel or knee to the mat and reach. Come on back down. Down dog. Forward for plank. Exhale to the belly. Cobra. Down dog. So then hold this down dog or drop on down into child's pose if you prefer. Easy, full breaths here, wherever you are. You got one more breath. Return to down dog if you're not already there. With an inhale, step forward into fold. Next inhale, halfway up. Exhale into your fold again. Inhaling into a chair. And exhale to release it. And we're done. So let's take a nice big step back with the left foot. Working into warrior two here. Right toes forward, left toes cut in a little bit, bending into the knee so we can see this big toe. So get even in your feet, pressing down, pulling together, extending the arms parallel to the floor. Let's take the right leg straight. Reaching forward of the toes, hinge over for a triangle. Lean on the leg if you need to lean on the leg. Remember, it's not about where this right hand falls. Keeping the hips kind of stacked, shoulders in the same plane as the ankles. Right? Looking up unless that bothers your neck. Take another big breath. And release it over to a lunge. So make yourself comfortable here. If you need to drop the back knee, go ahead. We're going to take the right leg straight, folding over the leg. So keeping the hips square, spine long. Let's bend into the knee. And drop the back knee. Taking the right hand to the inside of your right foot here. Go ahead and allow your hips to come forward. Same thing to them. Keep the shoulder touching the inside of your knee here. And then maybe start to bend your elbows a little bit. Thinking, bringing your belly button to the floor. Take the arms straight. Go ahead and bring your right foot back so that you're in a kneeling plank. And then, of course, you'll probably have to adjust your hands. So go ahead and adjust your hands. Shoulders down and back, belly in. Here, bend your elbows just enough to bring them in line with your ribs and then stop. Hover. Check in that your body is still a straight line from the crown of your head to your knees. We're going to take one more breath. Press up and shift back into a child's pose. Moving into down dog. Let's step the right foot forward into lunge again. Walk your hands around into the center of a straddle. And just take a minute here. So take the feet as wide as you need or as narrow as you need. Okay? Let your toes point forward. Feel even on the four corners of your feet. And let your upper body hang. From here, we're going to turn the left toes toward the back of the mat. Turn the right toes in just a little. And then your legs are like you want them to be for warrior two. So let's go ahead and open or lift the upper body. And check out. Maybe you need to adjust a little bit, extending the arms when you're ready. Feeling even and strong on your feet. Relax through your shoulders. We'll take the left leg straight. Reach forward of those toes and hinge over. So lean if you need. And then let's release it over to a lunge. Remember to make yourself stable here, dropping the back knee if you need. And we'll take the left leg straight. Folding over the leg. Make the adjustments. If it's too much, back it off. If it's not enough, maybe flex your left foot or make it more intense. Make a deeper fold. Bending back into the knee, dropping the right knee, and bringing the hand to the inside of the left foot there. So again, your shoulder and inner knee are connected. Let the hips sink forward if they're not already. And again here, think bending your elbows, belly button toward the floor. And then lifting back up, step the left foot back again here for a kneeling plank. Adjust, of course. Finding that neutral spine. Bending the elbows, hovering in this halfway place, pressing down into the four corners of the hands. Press it back up, and we'll sit back to our child's pose. So we're going back to down dog. And from down dog, step the left foot forward again. Walking the hands back into the center of your straddle. So again, adjust your feet. Toes point forward. Keeping a bend in the knees if you need here, we're going to take the index and middle fingers and wrap them around the big toes. Four corners of the feet on the floor, nice and even. Elbows bending out to the sides. Maybe a gentle little pull on your toes. Keeping length in your spine. Releasing the toes, take the fingers to interlace behind the lower back. Palms face each other. You can squeeze them together if you want. Shoulder blades together on the back. Stretch the knuckles away from the shoulders. So maybe up off of your lower back, maybe not so much, but keep them moving away from the shoulders so the shoulders stay away from the ears. Releasing the arms. taking the hands flat to the floor. So we're going to walk the feet in so that they're just wider than the hands or just wider than the shoulders. And you can adjust maybe a little more in or out. I like to turn my toes out a little bit. It seems to help. But, listen to what your body needs. So we're going to take the hands between the feet, just on the floor between the feet. And then maybe see about taking the hands behind the heels. And again, the knees can be more bent or more straight depending on what you need. Taking the hands maybe up and over the tops of the feet. You can leave your bottom high, or you can bend deep into your knees and sink a little lower. Listen to your body. Make sure you're breathing here. Let's release that. Unwind from there and just make yourself, take yourself into a child's pose. You can have the arms extended forward or take the hands back by the heels, depending on where your shoulders are right now. And let's come back up onto hands and knees. So give this a go. Don't get too attached to whether you feel like it works or not. Right? Just see where your body will go. And if it works out, great. And if you're not quite there yet, don't panic. So we're going to take the feet just outside of the hands again. And this time here, take your shoulders as much to that inner knee as you can. And again, the legs more bent or more straight, wiggle around until you get your shoulders as close to your inner knees as you can. From there, I'm going to move out of it just a little bit so you can see. Splaying the hands, right? The web up between your thumb and forefinger is going to go behind your heel. Okay? So you don't have to go all the way up and over. Try to get the hand to the floor. So we're looking to get the shoulders into the inner knees and the palms to the floor. This may or may not be your reality, right? So you can bend the knees a little bit more, shift the hips back a little bit, start to feel the weight of the body on the hands, okay? And maybe you feel the backs of your arms connected to the backs of your thighs-ish. You absolutely can stay working here. If you're already there, wiggle your toes closer together. And then most of your body weight is on your hands, yes? Belly in, shoulders back. Can you take your foot up off the floor? Or both? Maybe not today. Wherever you are, sit back. Take the legs out straight. Wiggle yourself back to your mat if you need to, of course. Taking the legs out straight and sitting nice and tall. Find space in your spine. Reach the arms and fold forward. So probably deeper than your initial fold. See if you can find the rest here. With an inhale, we're going to come back up. Release the arms. So if you're feeling your wrists, maybe roll your wrists. Roll your wrists, flex your hands back and forth, make fists, right? Releasing the tension from your hands. That's a lot of body weight into a body part that doesn't normally take that, right? So from here, sitting up nice and tall. Hanging on to the fronts of your shins. Lift your chest. See if you can just lift your toes and balance. So this might be where you want to work. Maybe this can be work. Keeping the spine tall keeps us upright, yeah? But instead, How about C, curving your spine and rolling down your shoulders, not your head, tuck your chin, but then roll back up and hold back in that original position. Yeah? So give that a go. Rolling back and up. So just take a few rolls. Ideally, it's very smooth up and down the spine, and it should feel good. And if that's really easy, instead of hanging onto your shins, reach down and grab for your toes like we did before. And do the same thing. Do just a couple more. Come up and hold. You can do any of the variations that we've already done, right? You can rest. You can hold here and balance, or you can see about taking the legs straighter. They don't have to be completely straight for this to do the trick. Right? But now the same thing, C, curve your spine, roll back. Whoop. Went further than I wanted. So if your legs are straight, and depending on where you can go, you may find that your legs start moving over your head, yeah? It takes a little bit of manipulation to get back up. So if you are rolling back, your legs are straight and they start going over your head, and you don't want to die when you're there, you can hold it, right? Remember, you have to be able to breathe. You don't want to crush your neck. Back of your neck should not be touching the floor. So if it's good, hang out. If it's terrible, roll down. There's lots of variations you can do here. Let's take one more breath. Gently roll yourself on out of wherever you are and lay flat on the floor. Let your body rest. So if they're not already, go ahead and take your feet flat to the floor. Find a neutral spine here. Right? So your lower back is not touching the floor. Your shoulders are resting down and back. Your head is in a comfortable place. Yeah. So then from there, cross the left ankle over your right knee. And we're going to reach back behind the right thigh. Interlacing the fingers, drawing the right leg in toward the chest. And you might notice that your body gets a little bit off center. Whether it's kind of rolling the hips up or shifting one side to the other. Maybe the shoulders won't lay back. See if you can find that neutral spine when you have both feet on the floor, as much as possible. It doesn't look like anything's happening, but you should be working. And we'll release it. And hook the legs. And move to the second side. Same idea. Keeping the back side as much the same as you can. Whether your feet are on the floor or whether you're in this figure four position. And then we'll release that side. Both feet flat. opening the arms out into a T position, and then picking your twist du jour, right? Whether you just want to let your knees flop over to the side, whether you want to shift your hips to the left and then let your knees fall to the right, take the legs straight, cross them, bend, work, or relax. And sometimes you're not really sure what your body needs until you get there. It's like, oh, no, I need to change this. Right? Let that happen. Take just a couple more breaths on this side. Gently make your way back to the middle and take your second side. So whatever variation you did on the first, start there. And if you do need to add or change, adjust, feel free. Taking just a couple more breaths over in this side. Making your way back to center. And then drawing the knees into the chest. And a little rock. And squeeze those knees into the chest as tight as you can. Let your forehead toward your knees. Releasing that into a full body stretch. Release your stretch. And find Shavasana, whatever that's going to look like. Releasing the muscles. Releasing control of your breath. Keeping the mind present, release any random thought. If it wanders in, let it wander right back out. Letting go of the work of your practice. Letting yourself rest for just a few minutes. Simply draw in a deep cleansing breath. And then let it go. Begin to wiggle fingers and toes. Move and stretch through the arms and the legs. Take another full body stretch if that sounds good. And then gently making your way to seated. Sitting low. And the palms to touch. Bowing to the leg again. Namaste. So hopefully that worked for you. Doing different things sometimes is a little fun, whether you feel like you accomplished it or did well or whatever or not. Right? It's just fun to see what happens. So speaking of seeing what happens, I'm going to be launching a 4-week beginner course. So not that you're a beginner necessarily, but if you know somebody who has always kind of wanted to do yoga but have been a little intimidated or feel like they don't know enough, that kind of thing, that's what this course will be for. And then I've also got another 5-day challenge coming up, probably another 2 or 3 weeks out yet, but that's what we're looking. So that's what's going on here. I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and then we meet back here next Saturday or practice during the week, either on the Facebook or on anydayyoga.com. Those classes are there as well, YouTube. So plenty of places to find some yoga. All right, see you guys. Thanks so much for being here. Thanks, Cheryl.